Welcome to Portrait Practice with Dr. A. All right, today we're going to be working on a little portrait practice, and we're going to be reviewing the different types of portraits and the different portrait head positions. So the first thing you're going to do is you're going to draw a line straight down the middle of your paper and divide your paper into 4 quarters. And we're just going to review. We're going to start with the front view, and then we'll do profile or side view. And then we'll do a 3/4 view. And then we'll have other. Play around a little bit in that 4th square. Okay, so real quickly, I've got my phone set up here so that I can see my portrait. So when I'm looking at a front view, I'm looking at myself in the camera. You can use your mirror if you have a mirror with you, or you can use, if you're online, you can use your own profile image in the computer that way. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to start by making my oval shape here. And it doesn't have to be a perfect oval, it just has to be oval-ish. I'm going to put my guidelines in here by dividing it in half vertically and then dividing it in half horizontally so that I get 4 equal parts. Like this is a pizza, I'm sharing it with 3 friends, and I get to pick the last piece. So I want to try to get them as equal as possible. All right, so this is your eye line, and this is all kind of a review. So you can go ahead and put your eyes right on that line. And your eyes are 1 eyeball apart, so you can kind of measure it. My pinky finger's about the right size. These eyeballs are a little far apart, but I think they'll work. I'm gonna go ahead and put my pupils in because the zombie eyes kind of creep me out. And then you're gonna add your nose. So if you divide this in half, just kind of eyeball it. You don't have to measure it. I just put a little mark in there. That's gonna tell me about where my mouth is gonna be. So my nose is gonna be slightly higher than that. Typically, your nose is a little higher. Different faces have longer noses. So I'm gonna go ahead and put my apple pie nose in here, and I'm gonna go ahead and add my eyebrows. Some people like to draw this line. They like to put a line in that comes up and shows that where that bone goes, the brow ridge above your eye that way, and that is fine. Or you can go without it. Either way is just fine. My nostrils are a little uneven, so I'm gonna make this one a little larger. Okay, I don't have very long I don't have very wide nostrils. My nose is pretty long, like sticks out this way. So that makes my nostrils a little flatter on either side. But if your nose is a little less pointy like mine is, then you might have a wider nostril, and there's endless combinations of noses and they all look like noses, and it's amazing. So I'm gonna go ahead and put the little Cupid's bow in here. I like to use the center of my eyes to line up where my mouth should be, and then go ahead and put that bottom line in, the top line in, and then I usually have a wider peak on the mouth. That's a little high for me, so I'm gonna go ahead and bring it down just a little bit so you can kind of eyeball it. Proportions are all about how things fit together. So I'm gonna go ahead and hang my ears off of that line, and my ears are going to line up with the corner of my eye and the corner of my mouth. So these ears, this ear is just about perfect. This ear is a little bit short, but if I extend my mouth out, whoop, that was too far. I don't wanna look like the Joker. I go out like this, okay? You've got your hairline this way, and then your neck is coming out from the corner of your eyes like this. And you've got your shoulders in here, so we don't want to be a floating head. Make sure that you're extending your body down and out until you reach the bottom of your picture plane, whatever size you're working in. And then you can go ahead and look and see how your hair is drawn. My hair is kind of doing this kind of thing today. And then my part is off center, and it is going this way. Seems to be really curly on the bottom. quickly, I'm just sketching in this hair, this wild, crazy hair I have here. And then you want to make sure to add, when you get to your final portrait, any details that you might want to add in your portrait. That's the front view. You're looking straight ahead, okay? For the profile view, we're just going to turn the head. So what we're doing is we're taking where that bullseye was, divide it horizontally and vertically. Well, that's not exactly even, but we're going to move it down just a smidge. Should be right about there. And then this is practice. So it doesn't have to be beautiful or perfect. It's just practice. So if it looks like a hot mess, that's okay. When we turn our heads to the side, that bullseye right there, where the two lines come together right between your eyes, actually turns to your ear. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to hang our C-shaped ear right here. And then we can go ahead and set our greater than, less than sign I, because when we look to the side, we've got our eye looking this way. We've got our nose coming down off of here. Okay. And then the tricky part with the profile is that you've got to add the chin. So we've got we're going to have a lip coming out here. I drew kind of a long, skinny oval. And then you've got your chin is going to come out and come back to this line. All right. So the forehead comes up, and then your hairline is still really in the same place. It's just that you're only looking at this half of it. Okay. So this curved line that is my hairline is still going to be here. And then my hair is going to, so I'm going to have my neck, and it's going to come out into my chest. And then the head just kind of comes down to the back and down into the back, and you see a little bit of the side shoulder there. All right. So I can go ahead and add my hair in. It's hard to look at yourself while you are in a profile. So I'm going to kind of wing it there. So I've got my hair is kind of doing this, and then it's coming back here off my shoulder, and the side is coming down around my ear this way, and I've got my hair, and you see it coming off the back of my head that way. Okay. All right, so that's the side view. So we just took this head and we just turned it. Okay. 3/4 view is somewhere between these two. All right. So we're going to take that oval one more time. Take that oval one more time. And we're going to put a horizontal line in here. But this time we're going to use a curved line for the vertical line. So I've got my horizontal and then the curved line for the vertical. So it's going to be curved in one direction or the other, like this. All right. What that does is that takes our front view and it turns it not all the way to the side, but part of the way. And if you notice in my camera here, in my photograph, when I'm turned to the side, you can see a little bit of this eye and a lot of this eye, a little bit of this cheek and a lot of this cheek. So if you think 4/4 equal a whole, 4/4 equal a whole, we're looking at 3/4 on this side and 1/4 on that side. So that's how we're going to draw it. So this eye is going to be a little bit shorter. It might be a little bit more, it's like you took the oval and you squeezed it a little bit, kind of like you take this and you just kind of squeeze it like that. And then we've got our other eye is going to be over here. That's a little bit stretched out. I'll have my eyes looking back at you. All right, and then we're going to have our nose, which we're taking from the profile. So we've got our front view eyes. We're going to take our profile nose. Now remember, we're still looking at this space and dividing it in half. So I just didn't make the hash mark. I've got my nose here. Okay, I'll see one nostril if I want to put that in there. And then the lips are the same way. You're going to see short side of the mouth on this side, because that's where the pupil is, right? And then the long side of the mouth on this side, and you're just going to connect the two. All right. The tricky part with the 3/4 view is adding the contouring of the face. So when my face is turned this way, you can see my forehead comes out where it peaks at my eyebrow. It tucks in at the corner of my eye. It pops out at my cheek. It goes in where my flappy jaw is, blah, blah, blah. And then it comes around my corner of my chin here. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna draw this so that it's gonna come out, go in. So that's where my eyebrow is gonna be right there. Okay. And then it's gonna come out where my cheek is, go in where my mouth is, and it's gonna come down and meet the chin right there at that center line. All right. You're gonna bring it back up here, and all the way out here is where we're gonna have our ear. If you see the ear. Of course, we still have our hairline. Still hairline is here. Okay. Now, different people have more or less of a forehead, so your hairline could be a little higher or a little lower, but this is pretty standard stuff. All right, so then I'm gonna look how my hair is going. It's a little bit of profile hair. It's a little bit of front view hair. So my profile, my hair parts on the side unevenly. So I'm gonna put that kind of in there. And then I've got this part of my hair, and then it's coming around here, and I'm gonna be seeing more of this, right? So I'm gonna have it all tucked behind my ear on this portrait. And then for the other side, if you can see my camera here, you'll notice in a 3/4 view, you see the hair here. It disappears behind where my cheek is sticking out, and then you see a little bit down here. So I'm gonna have a little bit of this curly hair sitting on this shoulder over here, okay? So that means that I've got my, my collar is at an angle. I'm going to see more of this shoulder and less of this shoulder, okay? So this one might seem a little, this shoulder might be a little bit longer, have a wider arm. This one might have a smaller arm, depending on how you're angled, all right? With this one, you can also play with the idea of lifting and lowering the chin. So if you curve this line, we know it turns your face left and right. And you can also turn your face up and down by curving a smile or a frown with your horizontal line. So with this one, this is not very dramatic, but you can, you can make it so that you're looking down. So I've got my, I'm just gonna have my eyes closed here. So I'm looking down, and I'm turned to the side a bit. And again, you're gonna have more of a mouth going this way. And we've got that contouring of the face. And then what happens is this area from the nose to the chin shortens because of the foreshortening, because it's tucked under, okay? So if you look, you've got this much chin when it's tucked under, but when I look at you in the front view, do you see how there's that little extra space right there? So that's what's happening. You're getting that foreshortening in the chin. And the head is tipped down. So you'll get less neck if the head is tipped down in that way, and you'll see more of the hair. So you'll see more of the top of the head this way. Like I said, it's not very dramatic the way I drew it, but you get the idea. You can also lift the head up by adding the frown, and then you'll see more of the underside of the nose and more of the underside of the chin and neck area this way. So that'll be the underside of the chin, the neck, and back in there. So that's pretty, the looking up is harder than looking down, at least for me. So it takes some practice. And once you've practiced at least these three, 1, 2, 3, you'll be able to make a choice for which one you want to include in your final work of art. That's it.